Welcome to the Student of Bitcoin podcast, where we highlight entrepreneurs and community leaders from around the globe that are driving change with Bitcoin. In every episode, we put our guests through a rapid fire round with 10 questions in 21 seconds each. And today, we have Humphrey joining us from Zambia. He co-founded Bitcoin Victoria Falls, a circular economy in Livingstone, Zambia. Welcome, Humphrey.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We are excited for our conversation. Humphrey, if you don't mind, can we start with a brief introduction of yourself, please?
All right, so I'm Humphrey, as you have already said. I'm from Zambia. Born and raised in Zambia. My educational background is in engineering, and I'm the co-founder of Bitcoin Victoria Falls. I'm also a member of Bitcoin for Fairness. It's a Bitcoin community founded by Anita Posh. Yeah, I can say that's pretty much it about it.
Okay. Humphrey, we know that Bitcoin conversations can go on forever. So I've just started a timer that is for 21 minutes, which means at 21 minutes, the show will stop. And when it does, you're going to hear a gong that sounds like this. Do you hear that? Okay.
I hear it.
That same gong will ring during the rapid fire round. At the end of 21 seconds for each question, the gong will sound, and that's a signal for you to wrap up. No need to stress, just wrap up your thought and we can move on to the next question. Sound good?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Perfect. We'll get started. Your first question. What drew you to Bitcoin?
Very interesting question. So I could say for me, it has been a thing of necessity, given that I was born in Zambia. So the privileges that I've had compared to other guys who are born in the Western countries and places, it's a bit different. So it's a thing of necessity, inflation. No, we don't have access to financial privilege like other people. So Bitcoin is thought was a much fair placed and thing to be part of. That's what drew me there.
Okay. We'll definitely touch on that when we have more time. Your next question is, tell us more about Bitcoin Victoria Falls.
Yeah, so Bitcoin Victoria Falls is just a secular economy. The initiative was started by Adam, actually a Bitcoiner from the US. So the main focus is just education and to teach people about Bitcoin and to onboard merchants to start accepting Bitcoin. So the idea is just to bring
You're doing good, so keep it up. Your next question is, what have been the biggest challenges with building Bitcoin Victoria Falls?
So the biggest challenge, I could say, the first one is a lot of people here in Zambia were banned and I could say hit by crypto scams. So a lot of people are extremely skeptical about what Bitcoin is and all that. Yeah, and another thing is not everyone has got smartphones and all that. So there is issues with the internet and all that. So we are usually like, okay, how do I use this if there's no internet and all that? So I could say these are the biggest.
Okay. Yes, that's something that I also had experienced during our time in Africa. Not having internet and not having smartphones definitely hinders Bitcoin adoption. So let's park that for post rapid fire round. Your next question, why do you think Bitcoin is so misunderstood?
So I could say people put it in the same category as just any other technology. So they feel like it will be obsolete at one point, and then they think something better than Bitcoin is going to come up and all that. So they don't understand. I like looking at Bitcoin as something which is more of a discovery, like fire, other than just the technology. So because of that, people confused, I could say. I think that's what I can say about that.
Okay, I really like that analogy. Fire. Okay, we'll round up back to that. Your next question.
Yeah.
What excites you the most about Bitcoin's future?
Come again?
What excites you the most about Bitcoin's future?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I could say for me, it's a thing where for the first time in the world, we've got a global neutral fair money. So anyone in the world can participate in this thing. So I think that's what excites me. Is like to give everyone in the world literally a fair chance, and a fighting chance to become financially free and sovereign. Yeah.
Okay. Just in time. Now the flip question. What do you fear the most about Bitcoin's future?
So I could say the main thing about Bitcoin that I fear the most is for most people, let's say they have been saving Bitcoin and then they lose their coins. So I think that puts me on the thing that okay, people need to learn more about self custody. I feel like that's the biggest risk in a way to Bitcoin. Is you have been building your stuff, then you lose your keys. So I think that's one thing. So my hope is better ways of.
Okay. The next question. What problems do you see within the Bitcoin ecosystem right now?
So I could say the biggest issue is since Bitcoin is a thing of advocating for sovereignty and all that. So self custody has been the biggest issue looking at our community. So self custody is the biggest issue, and also teaching people about. I could say, yeah. Let me just stick to self custody. I think it's not really, especially on the Lightning network, really hard.
That's fine. We all agree, right? Not your keys, not your coins. What would you be doing if Bitcoin wasn't around and you had all this free time?
So if Bitcoin wasn't allowed, I could say maybe focusing a lot on family, friends, and yeah, I think that's something that I could focus on. And I'm also a bit of like a religious person, so I could focus in my energy doing the Lord's work. So that's what I would be doing. Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat? What would you be doing? The last part?
I am a religious person, so I believe in God. I think I would focus my
On.
time doing.
Fair enough. The last question. What is one piece of advice you'd share with the audience?
So one piece of advice I would say: study Bitcoin and stack sats and stay humble. That's what I would say.
Awesome. Well, a rapid fire round's done. How do you feel?
Well, I was a bit nervous, but it was really good actually. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I
That's
wish we had
great.
more questions.
Sorry, you wish it had more questions.
Yeah, yeah. It was really exciting.
Okay,
I
that's
was
good to know.
really,
Maybe.
I was really avoiding expanding what I had in mind. So yeah,
It's okay. It forces everyone to keep it very brief. But, well, now we have around 12 to 13 minutes to really discuss some of the insights that you'd shared. And one item that really, caught my attention was how you compared it to fire. You said not like other technology, but revolutionary that changes the game like fire. And let's start with that.
so
Why do you feel Bitcoin has changed the landscape so much like fire?
yeah. So I would say if when you especially when you're looking at technology, well, I'm not an expert in this, but just that's how I look at it. Is technologies, I think discovery of something like fire, for example, is something that we discovered fire and then we started using it for a lot of things. So it's like a lot of things were built on top of fire. So like the steam engine, cooking, and a lot of other things were built on top of fire. So it's the same with Bitcoin. Yeah, so it's a protocol which is like a discovery, which a lot of things will be definitely be built on it, and most of the things we haven't yet I could say discovered that will be actually be built on top of. And that's how I look at it. So it's not something that will be obsolete as opposed to what a lot of people think. I feel like that's the reason why a lot of people play around with other altcoins. It's because they think, okay, maybe something better is coming, but I don't think that's the case.
I like how you position that. It's monetary infrastructure that we can continue building on as the base for
Yeah,
a new free financial world, right? Okay. But
yeah,
that said, we love using this free financial world, or even you said neutral or fair money. But we both
yeah.
agree that without the internet or without a smartphone, you can't onboard an
Hmm.
individual into accepting Bitcoin. Yes, we
Yeah.
have Machankura, but Machankura doesn't exist globally yet. So, how do you, in the context of Bitcoin Victoria Falls, manage to help someone even stay curious about Bitcoin if they don't have a smartphone?
Yeah, so in fact, I would say that's one of the biggest challenges that we have been actually looking at. Okay, how can we help these people? Yeah, so among some of the few things that we have been looking at is we got actually, I would say, picked by what Fedi they are doing is like, because we have got some people who are like merchants here in Bitcoin, in Livingstone, and then they do arts and then they want to accept payments in Bitcoin, but they don't have a smartphone. So what Fedi is doing is that they have something which enables people to receive payments without internet. So yeah, so we are looking into things like that. I feel like things like that is what's going to actually help a lot of people in Zambia, I could say, because a lot of people, not everyone has smartphones. Yeah, so I could say that's what we're looking into, and we are open to other ideas. Otherwise, this is actually, I would say, one of the biggest challenges because we have some people joined our classes, but because they don't have a smartphone, they can't download Wallet of Satoshi or Blue Wallet, so it's a challenge, I would say.
So now this brings up an interesting point because we both agreed that not your keys, not your coins. Now, if this individual can't take custody, they are able to onboard. So now there's a fine line that needs to be towed here to make sure that this individual understands that they are being onboarded onto Bitcoin, but it's not yet in a self custody fashion. So you're not there yet because you're still sort of understanding how to implement this structure, or maybe Fedi, if that's the solution you decide to go. How would you approach that with the members of the community so they're aware that that is the case?
Yeah, so I think what we try to actually make sure that people know is that if we try to teach them about different types of wallet, and we try to make sure for them to know that even though you are using this wallet, it's just for beginners, and it's not a self-custodial wallet, so it's not a really good idea to put in a lot. Yeah, and what we usually do is for our classes especially, we teach about Blue Wallet. So it's like if you accumulate a bit of some sats, it's better to take it to Blue Wallet where you're able to have full control of your wallet. So it's something that we take serious, but it's not as viable because we are looking at also the on-chain fees and also how much people earn, and all that's also another issue. Yeah, I think that's why we are looking at things like Fedi. Hopefully, it improves quickly because I think it's something that will help a lot of people.
It'll be an exciting next phase of adoption because now that we do have a platform that communities can adopt, it'll be very interesting to see how that Guardian and I'm not sure what they refer to as the other users within the platform, but I know
Hmm.
Guardians are the ones that keep custody. So it'll be very interesting to see how economies around the world or circular economies around the world leverage this.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay. You know, we all know so many people that have been burned by crypto scams, and that happens all the time. When Bitcoin comes up, the first thing they say is scam. And they try to run away or they try to avoid it. Try to keep a how do you take a fair approach so that you can spark curiosity so they can go and sort of look into Bitcoin?
So wait, is your question referring to how we actually help people try to distinguish between scams and actual real things? Or that's the question. Okay, so
Yes.
one, I think Now, something that we try to focus on is looking at the approach of these scammers. So they try to bring a promise that you make money quickly, that you double your account and all that. So usually when we teach people and tell them, okay, Bitcoin is not a get rich scheme, and it's not something that will make money fast. It's something that will just hold the value of your money. Yeah, so that's something that we try to emphasize, and we make sure we try to tell them that if someone comes to you and says that give me your money, I'll invest it in crypto and all that, make sure you just know that it's a scam. Yeah, so Bitcoin is something that encourages sovereignty. So it's like you control your own money, don't give money to anyone. So it's something that we approach it in that direction. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I usually take a similar approach of if someone asks you for money, that's a red flag. Whereas if I'm trying to give you money as a tip, well, you're just getting free money. I'm not asking for anything in return.
The
Okay.
crazy part is a lot of people end up getting disappointed because I don't know, maybe it's just a thing of people are looking for ways to make money and all that. So when you tell them that okay, Bitcoin is something that is going to make you money quickly, they usually get a bit disappointed. But I feel like it's a necessary evil to tell them the truth. Yeah, that this is just something that's going to hold your value over time.
For sure. I mean, if we lead with honesty, it's much better. I actually go one step further and I don't even bother showing the fiat value. I just say, ignore this fiat value. It's going to go up and down. It's going to give you a heart attack. Just look at this Bitcoin value. You have 10 Satoshis. That's what you'll have.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you'll have for the rest of your life, assuming you don't earn or spend more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now in Bitcoin Victoria Falls, I obviously know how we can spend Bitcoin because I was there 2 months ago, but we'd like to hear directly from you. If a tourist arrives at Victoria Falls today, how can they spend their Bitcoin?
All right. So for Bitcoin, there's this app called BTC Map. So
Yeah.
if you download that app, actually we are like five businesses already listed on that app. So you see that there's a business that helps. There's a tour guide who can actually help you around if you want to have some activities and visit the safari and all that. And there's also a backpackers if you're a traveler, like they are on the BTC map is all listed. Or you can actually contact us on we have put a Twitter page and also our North Bitcoin Victoria Falls, and we're able to help you navigate. So it's like I would say the circular economy is shaping up. Still, everybody is shaping up quite well actually. There's also a restaurant if you want to spend your Bitcoin, you actually accept Bitcoin for payments.
Fair. The taxi driver, that's one more that we have to add, right? The taxi driver that accepts Bitcoin.
Yeah. So you can also pay Bitcoin with a taxi, so it's pretty good actually.
Yeah, a note to the audience: you can actually go whitewater rafting. You can do any adventure sport that is available within Victoria Falls. That includes a helicopter ride. I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
there's mountain climbing, but a lot of the river style activities are available. Just make sure you don't flip because that's what happened to Humphrey and I when we went.
Oh my god, it was crazy. It was a good experience. All paid for in Bitcoin. It was so amazing.
I mean, I'll never forget the moment where the guide thought we lost you. This is even before we flipped. We were just in the water, like swimming, right? And he's like, "Where's Humphrey? Where's that guy?" And I thought we lost you. And
Yeah,
I took
yeah,
full
because
responsibility. Yeah, Humphrey's dead. It's my fault.
yeah, the fact that some people were trapped, that we thought only I was only seeing 4 people, we are 8. I thought what just happened. It was crazy. Yeah,
No, it
and
was
for
a
some reason
great
I thought
experience.
flipping was just a myth. So when we flipped, I was so like, plus I don't know how to swim, but it was amazing. It was amazing.
But it'll be an experience of spending our sats that we'll never forget.
For sure.
So speaking of spending, you know, a lot of communities don't even have Bitcoin to begin with. So how do you
Yeah.
get Bitcoin in the hands of these individuals so it can sort of move around the community?
Yeah, so one incentive that we have put in place for as Bitcoin Victoria Falls is the people that attend our classes. What we do is the students, Each student gets like after graduation, we get like 20,000 sats. Yeah, so that they
Okay.
get a few Bitcoin wakes and all that. I think that has worked out well because people have been able to use those sats if they want to can buy something at the restaurant. So okay, this action wakes and all that. So I think it has been a good, I could say, experience using sats, not just from theoretical point of view, but in actual reality. Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. So, and they typically just spend it at the restaurant itself where the meetup is happening?
Yeah. Because we can spend it out. They can spend it there. And another thing that I've noticed a lot of people in the community do is like sometimes they may have sats and then they just ask in the community, okay, who is willing to buy this much sats? And yeah, they're able to exchange sats for questions. So it's like happening exactly the way Satoshi designed it, peer to peer. Yeah, and people want to buy sats, we're able to sell sats to each other and all that. So it's really interesting to see actually. Yeah, and I've noticed that a lot of people have really started thinking in terms of sats. So it's like we don't say Bitcoin or that, but they say, okay, I want some sats, I want to buy some sats. It's really nice to see actually.
That's when you know things are moving along as we needed to.
For
And
sure,
look at
for
you,
sure.
perfect timing, just as the gong rings.
Wow.
You, 21 minutes goes by really quick, doesn't it?
Yeah. This was amazing actually.
Okay. Any closing thoughts, Humphrey?
So my closing thoughts will be if just for anyone, if you want to see Bitcoin succeeds, I feel like if you want to see it succeed, it's up to us Bitcoiners to take that step. Yeah, so if you're in a community, you can start a Bitcoin meetup and start meeting regularly. You can actually apply for Me Premier Bitcoin actually to start using their course to start teaching Bitcoin. It's like, yeah, it starts with you and with the friends that you have to make an impact in the world. Yeah, I feel like the Bitcoin standard is coming, but it's up to us to take a step and to make it happen faster. Yeah, that's what I would say.
I love that feedback. The ball stops with you. So if you want to make a change, go do it. All the resources are available. Well, thank you so much for your time, Humphrey. I love the discussion. I really like the analogy of fire and how we can use it as monetary system or Bitcoin as monetary system that everything can be built on. And your tips for building a circular economy. We know I'll share your X, the website for Bitcoin Victoria Falls, so everyone can find you through the show notes. For everyone else, thank you for tuning into the Student of Bitcoin podcast. Stay curious, stack sats, spend those sats, repeat. Until next time.